Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking? How's your Wednesday night? It's hump day. We hope you get the full, total, and complete amount of hump that you so desperately crave and so rightfully deserve. And we've got an action-packed show for you today. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. It's just loaded with excitement and festivities. If you'd like, you can go to the TomGullyShow.com. There's about 270 podcasts there for your enjoyment. Karen Garvey's here. Wild Bill's here. Nostalgia November's here. I've never heard of that person before, but whatever. Welcome. And yeah, you can go to TomGullyShow.com. You get all those podcasts. You can go to the store there or just cut to the chase and go to cafepress.com/TomGullyShow and get a wide variety of top quality name brand merchandise with my logo on it. That people just love the hell out of that logo. They can't get enough of it. And or you could go to the thing we really like, and that's when you go to paypal.me/TomGullyShow and contribute, since we're not monetized here yet. And at the rate we're going, we won't be for about 6 or 8 months. Woo! And then there's always patreon.com/the Tom Gully Show, where you get all the crap that I don't put online because it's evil. It could get me in trouble. Lyndon says, looking forward to the story. Oh, and a story it is, Lyndon. The monument to the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory disaster is in the background behind me. And it happened in 1911. So let's just say it looks to me like that thing could use an upgrade. Just saying. Terry Nee says, I set my watch by my clock. Those clocks do tell good time. Hold on. Let's see here. I have one of my own. It's not on the wall. I use it for display purposes. I don't even think that I haven't changed the battery in a while either. It takes just a AA battery. I think it comes with a free AA battery, and then after that, you got to fork over for your own. But it's still a damn great bargain. What do we sell that hunk of junk? Well, we sell it for $13. It's perfect for a game room or a study, or the TV room, as my parents used to call it. Yeah, we'll put that in the TV room. Yeah, that's good for the TV room. Anybody old like me and remember TV trays? I think they still make them. But back in the day, they were big item, the TV tray, which was just what it said. It was a tray that had little cross legs on it, and they usually stacked up like this, and then you had to pull the leg out and put it in the other side. Then you could eat your TV dinner and or other meal on it while you were watching TV. Well, yeah, I'm old. I'm a remnant from the days when the TV was a big thing. Not everybody had one. Certainly not everybody had a color television set. I myself recall when we got our first color television set. It was a big deal. And we had a black and white that was like, it was pretty big. It was a decent size. It was probably, I don't know, close to 2 feet wide, maybe, but it was definitely made to take from room to room. So you put it in the kitchen in the morning when you were watching all your morning show stuff, and then you take it and put it in the living room later on. But it was definitely a black and white TV. Definitely black and white. And then we eventually got a color one, and that was a big deal. My grandparents had a color TV, so we always used to freak out when we go to their house and we get to watch the color TV. I remember when they used to announce on the beginning of TV shows, and now the FBI in color. They would say in color because not all the shows on a particular network were filmed in color or produced in color. So it was a big deal. I can also recall the fact that if you had a backup TV, or what we used to call a portable TV, a smaller TV, for like your own bedroom or one that you'd move around the house, it was always black and white because this was before flat screens. And something that you'd get when you went to college, and I had one when I went to college, was a like little 13-inch black and white television. Zenith made them, Motorola made them, Sylvania made them, everybody made them, but they were the exact same TV set. They were the exact same set. There was no difference whatsoever. Let's see here. Boat says, love you, love the show. Well, thank you, Boat. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Old school 13-inch black and white television. Let me see if I can show you what one of these looked like. I want the old school looking. Well, that's it. It's just a cruddy picture of it. I'll find one here, by golly. Images, boom. I'll find one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's it right there. Boom. Well, there's a better one than that. I got to show you this TV because everybody had the same doggone television. Everybody. They were identical. Absolutely identical. There's no deviation. Let me see here. I'll just put RCA. It was kind of interesting because right before, well, not right before, but towards the end of like the regular, okay, there it is right there. That's it. That's the TV everybody had. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. Not exactly, but it's good enough. So that's the TV that everybody had. But right before everything went digital, and I don't mean right before, but I mean a few years before, probably 10 years before, they were selling these little 5-inch, check that baby out. That's the TV everybody had, black and white, the little antenna on it and everything else. But let me see if I can find the old school 5-inch black and white TVs. Okay, here we go. This is one of them. These were before, let me see here. These were before things went digital. So they were still analog. So before the digital stuff happened, you could get one of these. I had one of these on my desk for years. I know I'm probably boring some people, but I had one of these for years on my desk. And it was the most awesome thing in the world because it was right there on your desk. And you could just watch this little TV. It also had radio and stuff on it if you were person that wanted to listen to a ball game or something else. So it got radio, TV, weather band, AM, FM, all this stuff. And it cost $20. Now, if you want anything that's portable and a flat screen, oh my God. Oh my God, they really stick you for them. But you can't watch those anymore because they're all analog. Oh goodness, people are chatting. Trevor Garner's here. He says, hi, Tom. Hi, Trevor. Reverend Wild Bill says, we don't have to worry about people stealing the TVs like the one I grew up with. Yeah, Reverend Wild Bill, yours probably weighed 1,000 pounds, didn't it? Trevor, am I going to call you? Is that what's going on here? Or are you just here to derail the show and waste some more of my time? You're so close to being banned forever. You are such a inconvenience. Paused Up Patriot says, hi, how you doing? It's just always a bunch of confusion. It's like your show, unorganized confusion and stupidity. We didn't have any color in our house till the early 70s. I think we were pretty close to that, Wild Bill. Pretty darn close to that. Still waiting on Trevor. I'm going to wait another 35 seconds on Trevor and then completely ignore him for the rest of the program. God, the effects of alcoholism. They just aren't ever going to get it. Never, ever. While Bill says, we had a console TV with the phonograph built into it. Yeah, we had one of those too. We had one of those. My grandparents had one. I distinctly remember us getting our first color TV, though. I also remember that you used to have Skype is working. Have no idea what that means, but that's okay. Well, why would I expect you to have your act together? I remember that you could take the tubes out of the back of the TV. That's right. They had tubes. And you could go to the hardware store or the grocery store sometimes and get new tubes and also test them. AM and FM radio also. Okay, Skype is working. My show number. Jesus Christ. I don't even know why I'm doing this. This conversation will just be... Yeah. It won't be much, folks. It won't be much. Guaranteed that. And then we'll tell you about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory disaster. Tell you all about that. And satisfy your need for disasters. I think yesterday I said I was going to do it on something else, but I came upon this story and it had lots of graphics. I've always kind of liked this story, so... Well, not liked it, but been interested in it. There's nothing to like about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory disaster. Trust me on that one. You can trust me on that one. All right, let's... Such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the keister is Trevor Garner. All right, here we go. We're connecting now with Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Yes.
Hi, it's Trevor.
What's going on?
Not much. Just checking out your show.
Yeah.
Tom.
I don't know what the problem is, but your sound seems to be looping back through our signal here.
Your show. Tom. Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is.
Problem with my show.
Yeah, goodbye, Trevor. Jesus God You try and you try and you try, and with some people, it ain't ever going to work. It's just not. They're broken. They refuse to be fixed. I'm going to try one more time here. I don't know why.
More time here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
See if it's echo. Hello.
Yeah.
More time here. I don't know why.
Yeah, Trevor, you've got your computer on or something. I don't know what the hell your malfunction is this time. I really don't. And I don't care at this point. I am done with you. I have tried and I have tried and I have tried, and it just ain't going to work ever as long as I live. It just isn't. You know. It's you're just for Christ's sakes. Yeah. We? Yeah. I'm so ambivalent about that. It's not even funny. Uh-huh. Well, you have your own show. You could talk about that until you're blue in the face. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And then your buddy, your alky buddy, likes to claim that we have no listeners on this program, and you know, even a fool could look at the number of viewers that you have compared to this show, which is by no means a ratings landslide. But compared to your show, we're doing extremely well. And he says things like that, and you never bother to break check him on that at all. It's just let him have his drunken ramblings. And yeah, that's probably a mistake. Well, I agree with you. I think until you can get your technological things straightened out, and certainly letting a drunkard besmirch people that, if you know you're coming back on this show, it's not that I care a lot. I just don't like that guy, and to hear him go, well, he doesn't have any listeners. We got listeners. It's like, no, not really. Really. So anyway, whatever. Well, he was until yesterday. You sent one of his posts by accident? No, I didn't even notice that until you just told me, and I wouldn't have cared. No, Zombie did his own thing. Zombie did his own. I think he entered the room and immediately said, "My weenie hurts." Now, I know you don't give a crap about your show, and frankly, if I was doing your show, I wouldn't either. But I kind of care about mine. So those are the kinds of things that I and my listeners are not likely to appreciate. Yeah. Okay. People are telling me that they can only hear my voice We gotta see here. My microphone settings, built-in output. I guess I'll try this one more time, but okay. Hello.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay. I'm hopeful that people can hear you now. See, I had to go jacking with a bunch of my stuff because I'm pretty sure you were playing your sound back through your computer somehow.
Yeah, I think I just on or something.
Yeah, my listeners are already saying we are being told the caller has a hard out.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but really, I don't know, Trevor. Were you under the impression I was desperate for content, or was wanting you to call in and talk about things with you, or?
No. I was just calling in because I was like surprised you were on, and I came in, and I said, "Wow, it's Tom on again." So then I just said hi.
Why would you be surprised that I'm on?
Because I hadn't seen you for a long time.
I've been on every day at the same time for months and months now.
Yeah, I know. I've been in and out of the hospital and stuff, so I haven't really been paying attention to talk shows or YouTube or anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So nothing against you. It's just I just haven't have time. My mom's in the home and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but all you'd have to do is visit my YouTube page, and you would see a countless sea of programs. Certainly, the people following the show realize that I'm on at
I will
the same
admit
time.
that I actually listened to some, but I just didn't call in. So
Positive Patriot says in and out of the hospital for what?
Okay. Here we go. I've got venous insufficiency.
I don't know what that is.
It's like where your blood goes down, but it doesn't come back up. You got to wear compression socks.
Okay.
And I've also got nerve damage and foot ulcers, and the list goes on.
Well,
but
that's a shame.
My liver's still good. Yep.
That's a shame. Well, your liver, I'm surprised it's...
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be the first thing that would go, but...
I dropped cold turkey for a year, and I just didn't even need AA. I just I stopped. Done.
So one of my listeners is asking, who is Trevor Garner?
Trevor Garner is... That's a crazy question. I don't ever thought about it. I'm kind of a multifaceted person. I do everything, a little of everything. I work different jobs. I sell sports memorabilia. I go into radio. I've been a human resources manager.
What do you do now? You just sell your sports memorabilia?
Pretty much, but I'm putting a lot of money away now, so that's good because I'm not drinking.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So you used to be on a station, KCAA. Then you were on some station out of Colorado somewhere, or was it Arizona?
Oh, that was Arizona, KFNX.
Yeah. And but for the most part, over the last several years, you've just had your own show at trevorshappyhour.com.
Right. Since 2011.
And
2015.
Most of your cast members would be, I would say, severe alcoholics.
Not anymore. I have autistic weatherman. I've got a couple autistic people. I've got an old man, Al Graham. He's like Jim Morrison's brother-in-law.
Right. And you have Frankie McDonald, who's your autistic weatherman, but you also have Irving, the Indian boy or whatever, who is a severe alcoholic. And what was the lady who worked at the casino, Kimberly?
Oh, yeah. Her and her dog. All she cares about is her dog.
Major alcoholic, right?
Has been. I don't know if she's drinking anymore. She probably is.
No. But you're not anymore because, I mean, you used to pass out on the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
That Irv does now.
Yes. Where that guy gets off criticizing anyone for anything is a little beyond me, but whatever. Well, I'm glad that you're not drinking anymore. I think
I'm
that's.
probably gonna. I don't know if I can anymore, but I tried to have a few beers here and there, but I'm not sure where we're going with it.
What do you mean
So
where we're going with it?
I know it's like
Is
it's
there
my life.
a goal
It's
to that? I'm going to tell you right
not,
now. You're how old? 58, 62? Where?
yeah, I'm 58.
Okay, so you're 58.
Hmm.
My best friend from high school, just this year, well, last year, sorry, drank himself to death.
Hmm.
Died from booze. He got told 2 years before that he needed to quit drinking completely. Didn't do it, and went into a coma. Died just from drinking.
But he couldn't stop.
Well, or didn't want to. One of the two. I don't know.
That's the amazing part about me. I just stopped cold turkey. Wild turkey, and in October, and I didn't drink for another year until October. So
Well, good.
now I'm on the side if I'm going to drink again, and I don't know.
Well, why would you?
I know, but it's my life to do what I want. Not, I know it's like I'm getting all these hints now that I have I'm on antibiotics, and I wear these boots.
Yeah.
But
You
kinda
live you live where pot is legal. Why don't you just smoke pot? Or
I got some
edibles or whatever.
got them. Some caregiver I had gave them to me.
Just do that.
It doesn't work for my brain. I have an alcoholic brain.
Yeah. Well,
I was
yeah.
like Dave Learman. I think he pretty much did the same thing, but he couldn't stop.
Well,
Or he didn't want. He had cancer, right?
Yeah, cancer. Like the cancer might have also had a role in Dave's passing.
Yeah.
But you don't have cancer, so anyway.
Nope.
Well, I do appreciate your PayPal donation to the show, and
Okay.
now that we have a way to contact you, that's great. We can do that.
Okay. Well, I do enjoy your show. So,
Well, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
one person does at least.
what kind of topics do you want me? Oh, I want me. I mean, that you're going to talk about sports. Is that your thing? Or what? I know you like classic movies and TV and all that too, like I do. That's why my business is nostalgia.
Yeah, I remember
Hmm.
having to tell you about Louise Latham and
John Daner.
John Daner, yes, and
Every time I
Harry
watch it, I
Towns
was like,
and
John Daner.
Robert Middleton and all of them. But Trevor, I think the thing that I would be most interested in your case would be just call when something weird happens.
That's every show.
Well, there you go. Call me with something of that nature.
Okay. All right, Tom.
All
Well, I
right.
will. Tell you when something weird happens, and that's every show I have.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Take care, Tom.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. That's Trevor Garner. I'm turning the phone off again. Trevor used to call in here, and so did a lot of his people, and I don't even know how to describe it. What's great about age is you. Don't know what that means. I can't hear the other person. Just a heads up. I appreciate that. I'm guessing Trevor Garner is associated with Danny Workman. He is. Danny Workman, better known as Zombie. And if you saw him, you would not ask why they call him Zombie. Only hear you, Tom. Thank you guys for telling me that. I thought James Garner died. We are being told the caller has a heart out. Good now. Thanks. Can be heard now. Yes, we can. In and out of the hospital for what? I don't know. Troll. Well, he was a troll. I don't think he's a troll anymore. I don't understand how to use him. Greg Edwards says, JC, Tom, he was in the hospital, for God's sake. Mild retardation. No, I'm sure. I mean, Trevor hasn't lived the healthiest of lifestyles. I hope he sticks with it, though, and if he does what the doctors say, he'll probably be fine. If Trevor wasn't paying attention, why is he surprised Tom is on? I know. I don't get it. I'm looking forward to a horrible story. Oh, the story I have for you today is absolutely horrible. Diana Jean O'Brien from Shrewsbury, Shropshire says, hey to you. Terry Nee is an HR manager used to do a show where he got drunk all the time. Yes. Frankie McDonald gets around, doesn't he, though? Stop drinking, next stop calling. Positive Patriot, in for a penny, in for a pound, don't be a quitter, drink, 15 years sober, cold turkey. Well, Trevor apparently went cold turkey. Good luck. And Lyndon, thumbs ups emoji. You know, one thing I will say is I was told one time by a very good doctor, people do not change their behavior unless they get scared. And hopefully Trevor got scared. I don't say they'd be mean. I say, man, when you're passing out on the air doing a show, that ain't good. That ain't good, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, dear. Can I put Frankenstein back up here? Hold on. Because we're going to get to a story that I am positive you guys will all agree is highly horrible. Highly horrible. You want horrible? Man, I got horrible for you. Why don't we talk about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory tragedy? Now, before we get going too far, a shirtwaist is a weird, slightly funny name that just described those white blouses that women used to wear around the turn of the century. The kind that had a little collar at the top, buttons down the front, and sort of a billowing, blousey type of sleeve. That's all it was. That's all it was. And they were quite popular. So they had factories dedicated to making them. And this particular factory, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, was in Manhattan, New York. And it was located on the 8th, 9th, and 10th floors of the Ash Building. And it's horrible. It's very, very horrible. The factory employed about 500 workers, mostly young Italian and Jewish immigrant women and girls who worked 9 hours a day on weekdays, plus 7 hours a day on Saturdays. So they'd have 52 hours of work, and for that they would get $7 to $12 a week, which is the equivalent of $191 to $327 a week in 2020 currency, or about $3.67 to $6.29 an hour. So nobody was getting rich at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Let's see what we hear. Cold turkey. I call it mind over matter. If I don't mind, it don't matter. Kirkland says most alcoholics have zero spiritual life. AA is all about spiritual awakening. Jokerfish says, hello, Tom. Hello, Jokerfish. Chris Abels says, hit the like. Thank you, Chris Abels. Was just talking about your fine program yesterday. Reverend Wild Bill says, stop drinking in 1973. I don't do no drinking. Is this the one that made them had fire escapes? Technically, no, Kirkland. In fact, they already had fire escapes, and those fire escapes were already mandated by law. However, as you'll see during the story, that wasn't necessarily, Aunt B wore them. Yes, Aunt B wore shirtwaist, Randy J. Ramos says, and he's correct. Reverend Wild Bill says, I'm a meth addict, been clean for 40 years, going strong, mind over matter. Could the Jews work on Sunday? You'll have to ask them. I don't know. Jokerfish says, wow. Reverend Wild Bill says, yes, Saturday's actually the Sabbath. Chris Abel said, thank you, brother. No, thank you. Hello, Chris. Yes, legendary Chris Abels. We have a celebrity in our midst. About 4 o'clock, 4:40 on Saturday, March 25th, 1911, as the workday was ending, they had these scrap bins for the excess cloth that would be used when sewing these garments together. And these were big scrap bins. They could accumulate a lot of scraps, like months and months worth. Well, a fire started in one of these. Now, there's a lot of conjecture as to what caused it. Most people think it might have been a cigarette that somebody got rid of real quick. They weren't allowed to smoke in the factory. A lot of the women, though, did smoke and then blow the smoke into their whatever lapel. But a match or a cigarette started this particular fire. So the scraps left over from several thousand shirtwaists that had been cut at a specific table piled up and caught on fire. And this went up very, very quickly, okay? A bookkeeper on the 8th floor was able, because they had 8th, 9th, and 10th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th floors, was able to warn employees on the 10th floor via the telephone, but there was no audible alarm and no way to contact the staff on the 9th floor. According to one of the survivors, the first warning of the fire on the 9th floor was the fire. Okay. So, although the floor had a number of exits, including 2 freight elevators, a fire escape, and a stairway down to the main floor, the street, flames prevented workers from descending down one of the stairways, and the door to another stairway was locked. Now, why was it locked? It was locked to keep the workers from stealing cloth or finished shirtwaists. There was really no evidence that anyone was stealing these materials, but it was the practice of the time for managers to check the women's purses on the way out. So that one was locked. The foreman who held the key to this particular stairway, when the fire started, he took a powder. He ran off and went to something else. Dozens of employees escaped the fire by going up the stairway to the roof, the other stairway that was open. Other survivors were able to jam themselves into the elevators while they continued to operate, and they did not continue to operate for a real long time while this was going on. Hold on just a second here. You know what the sight of Frankenstein means? Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Imagine buying new clothes and they already smell like a cigarette. Well, they didn't blow them into their clothes. The clothes they were making, they blew them into their own clothes. They always blame the smokers. That's right. Was this when Tammany Hall ran New York City? I believe it was. Let's see. Judge Crater. If it wasn't, it was just before that time. Blame the smokers. Would you kids in the chat room please behave? Jokerfish says, I love Frankenstein. Well, thank you. My apologies. I forget not to use emojis. Anything for you, Karen. That's right. Karen Garvey will keep decorum in here. Okay, so within 3 minutes, the stairway that they could actually access became unusable in both directions, and employees were terrified. So they crowded into the single exterior fire escape. You guys said, somebody, I believe it was Kirkland, says, is this why they had fire escapes? City officials had allowed the Ash building to erect a single exterior fire escape rather than the required third staircase inside the building. And this was a flimsy and poorly anchored iron structure that they think might have been broken before the fire, but it soon twisted and collapsed from the heat and the overload of people trying to get down it, spilling about 20 victims nearly 100 feet to their deaths on the concrete pavement below. The remainder of the people waited until smoke and fire overcame them. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and show you here because they actually have a picture of it. Here's the fire department speeding to the site of what was going on there. And here's the actual building. And as you can see, the ladder only reaches up to the 7th floor. Yeah. They don't reach any higher than that. The fallen bodies and falling victims along the sidewalk also made it difficult for the fire department to even approach the building. Now, the elevator operators saved many lives by traveling 3 times up to the 9th floor for passengers. But one of them was eventually forced to give up when the rails of his elevator buckled under the heat. Some of the victims pried open the elevator doors and jumped into the empty shaft, trying to slide down the cables or land on top of the car. And the weight and the impacts of the bodies hitting that elevator car made it impossible to go up again because they twisted the car so badly. 62 people jumped or fell to their deaths. Yeah. 146 people died as a result of the fire. That's 123 women and girls and 23 men. Most of the victims died of burns, asphyxiation, blunt impact injuries, or a combination of all three. First person to jump was a man. Another man was seen kissing a young woman at the window before they both jumped to their deaths. Bodies of victims were taken to the Charities Pier for identification by friends and relatives. Victims were interred in 16 different cemeteries. 6 victims remained unidentified until Michael Hirsch, a historian, completed 4 years of researching newspaper articles and other sources for missing persons, was able to identify each of them by name. Those 6 were buried together in the cemetery of the Evergreens in Brooklyn. So some of the consequences was the company's owners were sued on charges of first and second degree manslaughter and a number of other things. They eventually were found only liable of wrongful death during a civil suit. And the plaintiffs were awarded compensation in the amount of, get this, $75 per deceased victim. The insurance company paid the owners about $60,000 more than the reported losses, or about $40,000 per casualty. $400, sorry. So, yeah. Let's see here. Jokerfish, somebody got paid off. Chris, please tell me you're not laughing at the people falling to the deaths. No, never. I bet the families brought litigation. They did. They did. It sounds like 9/11. Same thing OJ was found guilty of. As you might imagine, this particular incident was responsible for a number of labor reforms and improvements in safety. The American Society of Safety Professionals was founded shortly thereafter. The 2 owners did rebuild their business, opening another factory, but one of the owners was arrested for locking the door in the factory during working hours, and he was fined $20. Yeah. In 1918, the 2 partners closed the Triangle Shirtwaist Company and went their separate ways, one of them working as a tailor, and the other one set up other companies with his brother to make more shirtwaists. A union was formed out of this. The International Ladies Garment Workers Union was formed, and New York Committee on Public Safety was formed to identify specific problems and lobby for new legislation, such as a bill to grant workers shorter hours during the work week. The committee's representatives in Albany obtained the backing of Tammany Hall, and this collaboration of machine politicians and reformers got results. They actually did make a number of changes. So there's actually a coalition to this day called the Remember the Triangle Fire Coalition. It's an alliance of more than 200 organizations and individuals to encourage and coordinate nationwide activities commemorating the fire and all of the safety regulations and improvements that went into place after it. Got some more photos for you. Can you dig it? There are some folks that did not survive. The police forming a temporary morgue outside. There are some more being put into coffins just outside where they had fallen. After the fire, so many had died of smoke asphyxiation on top, they had to lower their bodies from the roof because there was no way down along the side of the building. Here are some police going over some survivors and removing them of their belongings so they could be identified. And this is more of the carnage and the wreckage outside the Ash building. So there you go there. People on the roof survive. Yes, there were many survivors on the roof. That's where a number of people survived. Some did not, however. Jokerfish says it's crazy how similar. Look for the union label was their slogan. That used to be a slogan. Yes, look for the union label on all the products that you can buy. Reverend Wild Bill says, damn lazy people just laying about not working, they're fired. Karen Garvey says, Rev, I think they already lost their jobs. Yeah, but their parents got $75, you know. Come on. Yeah. Oldest victim was 43-year-old Providenza Pano, and the youngest were two 14-year-olds, Kate Leone and Rosaria Sarah Maltese. But again, legislation led to requiring improved factory safety standards and help spur the growth of the International Ladies Garment Workers Union, which fought for better working conditions for sweatshop workers. So there we go. That is the story of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory disaster. Karen Garvey says $75, about $2,500 today. What were the blouses called again, Tom? They were called shirtwaists. And all the ladies wore them. Sounded like a real sweatshop, fire and all. Here, I'll show you what a shirtwaist is. I'll show you what a shirtwaist is by Billy Gumbo. I will show you what a shirtwaist is. Okay. So, this here yonder. Oh, come on. Daggone it. Stupid shirtwaist. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of a shirtwaist. Because I feel it's important that you know what a shirtwaist is. Okay. So I feel it's so important. I'm going to make myself really tiny on the screen there. So this is a shirtwaist. Get Bob's quote there. And that's a shirtwaist there, and that's a shirtwaist there, and that's a shirtwaist there, and that's a shirtwaist there. So they were just shirtwaist. There's a bigger thing, but I can't seem to get it to be bigger than that. Anyway, that's what your old shirtwaists were. These jobs are all now in China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Pakistan. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Keeping the memories alive. Well, you're welcome. Ever hear about the gas explosion that led to companies having to add odorants and natural gas? New London, Texas, or something. Yes, I have heard of that. That gas smell that you smell when you smell gas, when you have a gas stove and you're lighting the pilot. That's not how gas smells. Gas doesn't have a smell. So, didn't Jerry Seinfeld's wear one of those? Waka Waka. Yes, something similar. Reverend Wild Bill says women blouses. If I see a fire escape hanging on the outside of a building, is that because they got some code variants to dispense with one of the indoor stairways, or just in case? Never thought of it that way before. In this case, it definitely was. And in some buildings, they even had indoor ways of escaping. But because those indoor ways would sometimes be blocked, they would put them on they require them on the outside as well. Rotten egg smell was added to natural gas. Yes, they you know. I don't know if anybody here has ever taken one of those outside stairways, those iron staircases on the outside of a building. They're terrifying. They are terrifying. And, it's the site of the Frankenstein. You know what that means? Oh, yeah. Diana Jean O'Brien says they look beautifully tailored. God bless those people that lost their lives. They worked long and hard hours. Yeah, they weren't always as tailored as the ones I just showed you. Sometimes they were very standard. Remember, Bill said I had to sleep on a fire escape one night in Atlanta, and it was exciting. Man, I in Chicago had to go a bunch of floors down on one of those, and it was just, you could hear it creaking on the way down, and it was awful. Yes, carried lumber up a building across from the George Washington Bridge, very windy. They're awful. Especially, I can't imagine having a lot of people on one of those, and I also can't imagine that they're that secure and a lot of other things. I wouldn't. Tom, I'm curious why you had to use the outside staircase, fire or college days. I was staying in an apartment over the weekend with someone in Chicago. And during the night, a fire alarm went off, and the hallway was full of smoke. And so we chose to go down the outside staircase. And it turned out to not be anything. It was not a bad fire. It was just someone had dumped a cigarette into like a lobby trash can or something. But when you do that, and there's any amount of trash in it at all, there's a lot of smoke. And so that's what happened. And so, man, I remember going down that staircase, and we were about 10 stories up, and just, doing the circle all the way down. And it was winter time, so there was ice on that staircase too. And so it was kind of slippery. But as we were going down it, and there was probably 15 or 20 of us, I was the one that said, "Hey guys, let's space out here. let's have like a person a floor as best we can. Let's not have all the weight at the top here. And that's what we did. So, if you remember the slippery noodle, they found a body on the roof about a week ago. Apparently, she overdosed, and the way that she got on the roof was the fire escape. Oh man, who doesn't remember the slippery noodle? I played a lot of blues at the slippery noodle before and after the remodel with the new big room they got in there. Chicago can be very cold. You got that right. Staying a weekend with a friend, and then the husband came home, so it had to be fire escape time. I got you. Tom kicked over a lantern, and now we know the rest of the story of the Chicago fire. Look, I know I'm old, but I ain't 1871 old. Incidentally, that's another story we're going to do is the Chicago fire. And not the Major League Soccer team, Chicago Fire. Although that's a great story, too. They won the championship of Major League Soccer their first year in existence. And now you know the rest of the story. Yes. Julian Zeezer says there are still old buildings with fire escaped. I wonder if they're inspected. I bet you they're not as well inspected as they should be. And I don't know how you would calculate the weight load and bearing and all that stuff for one of those things. And all you got to do is look at one. Do they look that incredibly, you know? It's just attached to the side of a building. You might as well hand out parachutes. If you ask me. That's what I would say. Just hand out some parachutes. That's to Mrs. O'Leary's cow they won. I don't know what the hell that means. Hand out parachutes. Or have a big pole that you slide down. I mean, there's an episode of the TV show ER where they show a place in Chicago that they build these multi-story like patio decks onto the sides of buildings in Chicago in these apartment buildings. And they're just so jacked up. And so they have these big parties and everybody's dancing and jumping up and down. On this particular one, the whole floor collapsed. I'll never forget that. It's just a TV show, but yeah, no thanks. I ain't doing that no more. Oh, look, it's Frankenstein. You know what that means? Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Could you imagine a fire escape at the Westin Hotel in Atlanta from the top floor? No. Especially with the size of people today, just saying. Well, that's true as well. After 9/11, there were people selling all sorts of rope ladders and weird parachute things that were supposed to be better than nothing. Remember 9/11, there was that urban myth that a guy had rode on top of the debris when the building collapsed. Kirkland says there was a hotel in Kansas City that collapsed its opening night. My mom almost went. Kansas City also had that skywalk that collapsed in that mall. Great Chicago Fire Night, 1871. Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked over a lantern and burnt the city. Well, that's apocryphal. Nobody has any proof that Mrs. O'Leary or her cow did anything there. They don't know how the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 actually started. Kirkland says, that's what I'm talking about. I thought it was a hotel. Kirkland, I think there might have been a hotel in that facility. Let me see here. I'm going to find out for you real quick. We're going to cover that. Well, it does say Hyatt Regency Hotel. Skywalk collapsed, loaded with party goers. So they were in the atrium. I'll look into it further, but I think that Hyatt Regency the Hyatt Regency Crown Center. It was a Hyatt Regency, but it had a whole bunch of other stuff in it. Yeah. Electric Head Gino says Hyatt Regency. Do you remember Gene Deere, who played at the Slippery Noodle? Randy J. Ramos, not only do I remember Gene Deere, but I received notice from a good friend of mine that was a next door neighbor of Gene Deere back in the late 60s that Gene Deere had passed away just recently. Kirkland says, I don't know, it was like in 1980. New Year's Eve, says Electric Head Gino. Jokerfish says, good night, everyone. Thank you for the fun. You're welcome for the fun, and good night. Karen Garvey says, good night, Jokerfish. Electric Head Gino says, I live in KC, home of the Kansas City Comets. Julian Zezer says, party decks tend to collapse. Happened here about 15 years ago. Dumped party people in the river where some lost their lives. Oh, man. Everybody just, it's like another thing that we're going to cover, which is the Texas A&M bonfire collapse. And that happened right after I got to, or right before anyway, I got here to Texas. And it's just, you just wonder how it didn't collapse years and years before that. Randy J. Ramos says, say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. So yeah, that's about all we got, folks. We got other collapses we'll cover here, because I know how you folks love a good disaster. And admittedly, so do I. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll be able to speak without blowing my nose 27 times. Renoir Bill says, people just don't understand that little thing called a weight limit. They also don't understand a thing called load bearing. The weight limit, that's one thing, but you've got to have a load bearing wall or structure or architecture of some kind. So that's important as well. Not hungry, but I know I have to eat. So I'm contemplating my next dinner decision here. There's no good reason not just wear a parachute all day long. That's what I say, says Julian Caesar. That's both funny and true. What could it hurt? What could it hurt? Just wrap myself up in a styrofoam and foam rubber suit. That's funny. Hey, man, chicken ramen noodle. Oh, God. Well, Bill, do I have to go over my hatred of soup constantly? My deep hatred of soup. The Wolf says, I like having a voice problem because it's easier to do the old English lady. That's funny. Don't know if I should mention this. I sent the Wolf a photo, or maybe I sent him to the page, of this spectacularly gorgeous girl. Spectacularly gorgeous. And the Wolf has such high standards that it's, yeah, she's okay. Diane Gino Bryan says, oh, I get the Frankenstein thing now. Yeah, I have to go away and blow Frankenstein's nose. Thank you, Tom. Good night. Thank you, Lyndon, for being here. Appreciate it. Soup is just food and water. Thank you, Karen Garvey. It's a bunch of stuff I would really like to eat in a bucket of water. Evening Wolf, Evening Rev. Let's see. There was a jail that killed Confederate fighters' wives and moms in Kansas City. Also, the T-Mobile Center's there now. They took a load-bearing beam out to make more room for the women. Jail collapsed. I'm gonna have to look that up. KC Confed prison collapse. I'm gonna look that up. Never heard about that. I never heard about that. Soup sucks. You need real food. I'm telling you. I think I'm just gonna have some PBJs though. Bloody Bill Anderson's sisters were killed there. Ooh boy. Bloody Bill. Well, we all know that Josie Wales killed him. Josie Wales took care of that guy. Don't you know? I think that's what happened in the Miami condo building collapse. They took out the column in the basement parking garage. It could be. Chicken spinach Alfredo pizza. Boy, that actually doesn't sound too bad, except I don't like my pizza tricked up that bad. I've got one of those awesome deep dishes here, but I just don't know if I want to ruin it. If I want to save that until tomorrow or the next day. Oh, yeah, paypal.me/The Tom Gully Show. Oh, wait, paypal.me/Tom Gully Show if you'd like to contribute to our little effort here. Man, that would be so cool. You'd be so cool if you did that. Even Fonzie would think you were cool if you were to do that. Oh boy. Wow. Reverend Bill likes a good white pizza. I'm 50-50. Terry Nee said, son made potato soup for us tonight. I can't wait. Tomato basil. French onion. Beer cheese. Those are my 3 acceptable soups. And that's me going out on a limb. Because I shouldn't like any soup. But that's me doing soup a favor. You know what I mean? My grandmother hated potato soup, Depression era. Yeah. I don't blame her. Who can like a soup? Kirkland says the jail collapse, premeditated Quantrill's raid on Lawrence. Oh, man. Well, Kansas had some rough times during the Civil War, so... let's see. Eddie Mack says, are you Vince the lawyer's dad? Do I look like a midget? Reverend Wild Bill says, I like a good homemade menudo soup. The Wolf says, all this talk about soup is making me ill. I'm with you, Wolf. I'm with you. Randy Ramos says, here your mom comes, grind up some good meat. You're not talking about my mom, are you, Randy? Certainly you can't. My sisters find out you're talking smack about my mom. You'll have to deal with them. Kirkland says, get you a good rotisserie chicken. That would mean me having to go to the grocery store, which I'm not going to do till Sunday. Because Monday here in Dallas, it's going to be 0 degrees. Come on, crab soup too? Yes, crab soup too. Yes, even crab soup. They don't put rotisserie chickens out on the weekend. Oh, they do it where I live. Randy says, no, I was referring to she would get some meat and grind it up in a meat grinder. You guys wouldn't know what it was. You know I would never say anything there. Well, I actually now know what you're talking about. My mom used to make these meat sandwiches with like a ground up whatever kind of meat that she had. And then she would mix it up with like mayo and relish and some other crap, some tomatoes maybe, and make it into like a puree. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, Randy. Yeah. Old Ma Gully used to be quite fond of making that. She's also the one that shredded up Spam and put ketchup or barbecue sauce in it and then made it into like Sloppy Joes, which I will never forgive her for. Wolf says soup is in there with rabbit food. I am so with you. I am so on the same page with you there. Anyway, I better get some more sleep, take some more vitamin C, eat a couple sandwiches, and go to sleep until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. So better and better day by day. I guess, if you can like this show, subscribe, share, those are all great things. If you want to go get some merch at cafepress.com/Tom Gully Show or /the Tom Gully Show. PayPal.me/Tom Gully Show is the awesomest way to contribute. And then Patreon.com at the Tom Gully Show. We would appreciate it. Being told to hydrate, which is really good advice. Julian Zezer said, when I was in school, there was a big scandal because kids found a cardboard box in the lunchroom in the dumpster that said meat, low grade but edible. At least they were honest. Eddie Mac says, get well soon, Tim. I will, Evie. Diana Jean O'Brien says, what time is it where you are now, Tom? It is 7:10 p.m. in the evening. It's got to be 1 in the morning where you're at, or midnight, 1 or 2. It's time for Arsenal to quit losing, I'll tell you that. Anyway, with all that being said, I guess the only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
Right out of my pants.